Hi everyone, I'm Sam Castor. I'm the founder of Manna Relief Ministries. We're a not-for-profit organization that provides whole food nutritional support to the world's most vulnerable children. And I'm here to make a presentation today on the breakthrough of an incredible molecule in nature that impacts people's lives unlike anything that we've ever seen. I've prepared a few notes to help me in the very beginning of this, and then of course I'll get into the story. Hey, listen, this is just one in a series of videos that I'm doing to help people understand the impact that we make through our social business initiative. In the last 17 years, Manna Relief has provided over 85 million servings of these life-saving technologies to children in over 89 countries of the world. And our primary funding comes through a revolutionary new platform for sustainable impact called social business. Social business leverages the power of the marketplace to provide sustainable solutions to the world's biggest problems. And this is accomplished through a buy one, give one model of social giving. So an absolute necessity for social business success is the ability to provide consumers with a unique and proprietary product that provides a solution to their biggest quality of life challenges. The more powerful the impact, the more unique the product, the more sustainable your impact can be on the world. And that's probably why someone has directed you to this video today, to help introduce you to an exciting new advancement in one of the most explosive new segments of modern healthcare called integrative health. Integrative health combines the best standard of care medical practices with the best complementary health strategies to achieve best patient outcomes. Why is that important? Because over 50% of the population now live with one or more chronic conditions that they have to try to manage on a day-to-day basis. And every one of those people would choose a better outcome if they actually believed that it existed. Millions of people will go to bed tonight praying for a breakthrough in their health, or the health of a child, or a parent, or a loved one, or a friend. So let me encourage you with some ancient wisdom. Paracelsus, the father of pharmacology in the 1500s, said everything that man needs to sustain health is provided by God and nature. It's the job of science to go find it. And that's the purpose of this presentation today, to share with you an exciting new advancement in one of the most scientifically validated integrative health strategies that exist in nature. It's truly one of the most amazing gifts of provision in the world today. So let's start with the discovery of what researchers have called nature's most amazing molecule. Okay, I'm going to tell the story now because I'm very familiar with the story of the discovery of what it's called Acemannan. Acemannan is the biologically active molecule in the aloe vera plant. You know, it's been known for centuries as the plant on the planet that has the best possibilities for providing health support and recovery support. And it's really a staple and a foundation of ancient medicine. In fact, ancient Greeks used to call aloe vera the plant of eternity. Ancient Egyptians called aloe vera the plant of immortality. The Mayan Indians called it the fountain of youth. Ayurvedic doctors in India called it the plant of balance or homeostasis. And the American Indians worshipped aloe vera with godlike status. And so as you can see, on every part of the planet, in cultures everywhere, aloe vera has been a staple of ancient medicine. So it stood to reason that we should look at aloe vera for possibly the best integrative health approach. Now, aloe vera carried this reputation for centuries as the most supportive health and healing plant on the planet. And somewhere around the 1950s, product manufacturers caught on to that reputation and decided to leverage it in new product development. And so manufacturers started making food products and supplements and drinks and skincare products with aloe vera. and of course claiming the miracle of aloe vera is now in our product. I mean, who wouldn't want a product, a skincare product that was known as the fountain of youth, right? Or who wouldn't want a health product that was known as the plant of immortality? And so product manufacturers started making aloe vera based products. You know, today, aloe based products have grown to a $14 billion a year industry around the world. Here's the problem. The products themselves never lived up to the reputation. In other words, everything that had historically been shared or known about aloe vera actually didn't translate to the products that were made from aloe vera. And that kind of remained a mystery until the early 1980s, when a group of investors went to Southwestern Medical School here in Dallas, Texas, and funded a study. And here's what their funding was about. We know that there is a molecule in fresh aloe vera gel that has a more dynamic impact on the human immune system than any molecule we've ever seen in nature. We just don't know what it is. We do know this: when you put fresh aloe gel in tissue cultures, you see this incredible immune modulating capacity. But within about 24 to 48 hours, that activity is completely gone. So there's a molecule in aloe vera. We know that it denatures pretty quickly. We'd like to discover the molecule and find a way to stabilize it. And so that's what the researchers did. They found out that the active molecule in aloe vera is a long-chain polysaccharide made up of a sugar called mannose. So it's a beta-mannan molecule, and which is a polysaccharide. And they also found out that it was labile. Within about 24 to 48 hours, that polysaccharide is completely denatured, and so the aloe vera completely loses that immunomodulatory effect. So they found a way to stabilize the molecule. They named it Acemannan. The definition of Acemannan is it's a beta-1,4 acetylated mannan polysaccharide with an average molecular weight of 1 to 2 million daltons. And a dalton is just a measurement of weight. And so they knew a couple of things through the initial research. They knew that some of these molecules were small enough to be absorbed straight through the intestinal wall into the bloodstream, because the sugar mannose is absolutely essential for the proper structure and function of every cell in the human body. So this polysaccharide is unique in that it's full of mannose. The second thing that they knew is some of the fractions of these Acemannan molecules actually activated a large white blood cell called a macrophage. And the macrophage orchestrates all the immunomodulatory functions of the immune system. That's really what they were looking for. And then they realized that some of the larger molecules converted into short-chain fatty acids, which actually served as a prebiotic in the human gut. That's a good thing. You're feeding friendly bacteria. These larger chains of mannose also nourish the epithelial cells, which are the cells that line the lining of the gut. That's critical because the lining of the gut is what keeps all the invaders that you eat, drink, and breathe out of your body. It's the protective lining of the wall. So all of those things were important. All of those things were critical. They took this discovery, they raised millions of dollars and created a publicly traded company called Carrington Laboratories. Carrington Labs was designed to commercialize the discovery of Acemannan. And of course, they went into the products that they felt, could create the biggest return on investment. So the first vertical market that they entered were the wound care product lines, which is very consistent with the history of aloe. You could take fresh aloe vera and put it on a burn or a cut or a wound, and you would see accelerated wound healing. And so with the new stabilized Acemannan technology, and of course they were the only company on the planet that had stabilized Acemannan. In fact, they filed and received over 150 worldwide patents on the stabilization of this incredible molecule. So wound care products came out, and they quickly became some of the top wound care products in hospitals all over the world. The second vertical market they developed was an injectable form of Acemannan for veterinarian medicine. And so they used this injectable Acemannan for the treatment of cancer, treatment of leukemia, treatment of tumors in dogs and cats and horses. So in veterinary medicine, injectable Acemannan became, one of the rising stars in that entire vertical market. And then the last vertical market they developed was dietary supplements for human consumption. And they could take stabilized aloe vera, this Acemannan, provided through a dietary supplement. And it's important that it be in a supplement form because about 70 to 80% of a human's immune system is housed in the gut. So taking it orally was the perfect delivery system for getting the best effect from Acemannan. And again, when it went into the gut, they knew some of it was small enough to get absorbed straight into the bloodstream. There's actually pump sites on the intestinal wall that are looking for small chains of mannose. Some of it actually activated the macrophage activity and the whole immune modulating capacity of the immune system. And some of it actually fed the epithelial cells in the gut and served as a prebiotic. So it was a wonderful discovery. And I was involved in commercializing that dietary supplement technology created by Carrington Laboratories. And we took that technology all over the world. And when we saw the true impact and health that was created and supported by this unique technology, we founded Manna Relief Ministries. Because what we realized is that 6 million children a year die of acute and chronic disease disorders that are caused by malnutrition. Malnutrition compromises the immune system of children, and they become susceptible to every chronic and infectious disease. And so we knew that this technology could make a bigger impact on the quality of life of those children than anything that existed in the marketplace. And so we founded Manna Relief Ministries, and we started supplying the stabilized Acemannan and whole food vitamin and mineral extracts to children all over the world. Well, when the patents expired for the stabilization process for Acemannan, a couple of other major companies entered the marketplace. And stabilized aloe vera remained the same for about 20 years. And then in the early 2000s, the next level of science occurred in Acemannan technology. And essentially what researchers were looking for is new ways of processing aloe vera Acemannan to increase the composition of Acemannan within the composition that they were providing in supplemental form. And so they were looking at ways of processing that might alter some of the structures of Acemannan. Now, Acemannan up to this point had just been stabilized Acemannan molecules, everything from 50 Daltons to 5 million Daltons in molecular weight. That's called full spectrum Acemannan. It's everything that naturally occurs in the plant. But again, they knew that different fractions did different things, and they thought as long as we're going to look at new ways of processing aloe vera to increase the Acemannan content, let's try to determine which of the actual molecular weights is achieving the immunomodulatory activity that we're all looking for. So in integrative health, what you're trying to do is you're trying to find the best technology for supporting the immune system. And we know that certain fractions of Acemannan actually do that. Well, the South Koreans actually figured that out and published this study entitled The Identification of Optimal Molecular Size of Modified Aloe Vera Polysaccharides with Maximum Immunomodulatory Activity. And here's what they found. That 50,000 Daltons all the way up to 400,000 Daltons of Acemannan was the sweet spot of aloe vera Acemannan. That's actually the molecular weights that activated the immune system. Now again, that's a little contrary to what was believed before, because with an average molecular weight of 1 to 2 million, they thought maybe that was the range that caused the immune response, but it was the smaller molecules. 50,000 to 400,000 molecular weights of Daltons, molecular weight, actually caused that response. Well, listen, that was great to know, because now we could go back and look at all the processed aloe and see how we were doing. And so that's what they did. And this was the original Carrington Labs, the one on the far left. Or I don't know what you're looking at, maybe the far right. Anyway, that was the Carrington Lab aloe. As you can see, 10% of the total solids in stabilized aloe vera are full spectrum Acemannan. That means all the smallest molecular weights all the way up to the largest. And it just so happened that 4% of that fell within the range of the immunomodulatory fractions of Acemannan, and 1.7% of that fell within the most bioavailable fractions. Then we look at another manufacturer that stabilized it. They actually created a little bit more stabilized Acemannan per gram, but only 1.2% of what they stabilized was the immunomodulatory fractions, and only 0.3% was the most bioavailable form. And then the third manufacturer had about the same rate, 10% of their composition was full spectrum Acemannan. But look, they got 6.3% of that was immunomodulatory and 1.8% was bioavailable. So now that we could go back and review what had actually been developed and see how it rated, we could say, how could we improve upon this, this, and this? How could we get more stabilized Acemannan? How could we raise the percentage of immunomodulatory fraction? Because that's what we're looking at from an integrative health support. And how could we also raise the level of bioavailable fractions? And so Dr. Santiago Rodriguez, who worked for Carrington Laboratories and was in charge of the stabilization process and the extraction of certain molecular weights, probably the world's leading expert on Acemannan processing, developed a brand new technology. And this is what it looks like. As you can see, he almost doubled everyone else's total amount of Acemannan per gram. And again, that blue line is total Acemannan, full spectrum, small chains all the way up to the very large molecules. But look at what percentage was immunomodulatory, 18% of that. Now, when you look at that in milligrams, that's about 8 times more milligrams than the Carrington product, about 5 times more than the best that existed in the market, and over 20 times more than this in terms of actual milligrams of immunomodulatory Acemannan. So that was a huge advancement in our ability to impact the human immune system. And of course, the most bioavailable forms, the very small fractions, 9.7% of that 19.7% were bioavailable as compared to 1.7, 0.3, and 1.8. So it was a huge advancement in the knowledge of how to process aloe to get more efficacious aloe vera. There's actually a site that you might want to go to. It's called Acemannan.com. If you're more interested in the scientific description of this and some of the research around Acemannan, I'd recommend that you just go to Acemannan. It tells how it was discovered, how it was defined, and some of the research that surrounds Acemannan. You know, aloe vera has been sold in products, like we said before, all over the world. There's a $14 billion industry. But I want to encourage you to know that what we're providing you is the most efficacious technology that exists in the world today when it comes to Acemannan technology. In fact, most of the products that are sold containing aloe vera don't even have Acemannan. Just recently, they've started evaluating aloe vera-based products based off of, does it have Acemannan in it as one of its primary biomarkers. And so recently, this was just a month ago, Bloomberg went out into store shelves of major retailers like CVS and Walmart, Target, and picked aloe vera products off of the shelf and looked at them. Because again, these are the products that are claiming to have the miracle of aloe, right? And look what they found. No evidence of aloe vera found in aloe vera at Walmart, CVS, Target, major retailers. So in other words, there's all these products that claim to have aloe vera. Now here's the truth. 99.5% of the gel of aloe vera is just simply water. If it's not processed appropriately, you lose the Acemannan. So all of these products could actually be made of aloe vera, just none of them have the active ingredient. In the HOPE program at Manna Relief, we've provided this technology to children all over the world. But one particular group that we work with here in North America are medically fragile children whose parents want the best integrative health support for their child. Again, these are kids that are going through standard of care treatment with their doctors, but want to support their immune systems in the most effective way. Let me tell you why that's important. Because a lot of times the therapies that these children are utilizing, whether it's a drug therapy or whatever, are very toxic. And the toxicity can actually compromise the very functions of immunology that your body needs to recover with. And so drugs and nutrients do two completely different things in disease processes. And that's why an integrative health approach can yield best results. Drugs alter disease processes. And that's not a bad thing because it can help reduce the symptoms of chronic disorders. But again, drugs are toxic. So they interfere with the body's normal processes of recovery and regeneration. So the best integrative approach would take the best, most complementary form of immune support and add it to the best standard of care to achieve best patient outcome. And that's what we've seen with our children. In the United States, we've put over 10,000 children through our HOPE program of integrative health. These are the results that we've seen. Over 87% of the children have seen a dramatic improvement in quality of life issues. So we do a quality of life survey with all these children. Again, Acemannan does not treat, cure, mitigate any disease process. It simply supports your body's normal immunological functions of repair and regeneration, which is an important part of the equation of dealing with chronic illness. So that's a pretty amazing statistic. The product that the person that asked you to watch this video is Evolve Immune. We've taken this technology that was donated to Manna Relief by Dr. Rodriguez, and we've put it in Evolve Immune so that we can introduce a social business concept to the world. And every time a consumer who is looking for the best immune support purchases a bottle of Evolve Immune, we get to nourish a child in need. You know, from a consumer standpoint, there's three major categories of consumers that should and want to take Evolve Immune. First of all, it's just the normal person that wants to stay healthy, wants to support their immune system. You know, in the world that we live in today, it's a toxic environment. I mean, we have highly processed foods that are full of chemicals. We eat, drink, and breathe things that are full of chemicals. We're under a tremendous amount of stress, and our food quality is not always the best. All of that contributes to a compromised immune system. So our best bet to protect our quality of life is to support our immune system in the most effective way that we can. That's why so many people take Evolve Immune. The second category, interestingly enough, are high-performance athletes. You see, Acemannan helps support the body's normal recovery processes. Do you know that Olympic athletes here in the United States have actually consumed Acemannan for over 2 decades? Why? Because what they're looking for is the fastest recovery from extreme exercise events. Because the faster they can recover, the more they can work out, and the more improvement they can make on their performance. And so Olympic athletes of almost every sport out there have been consuming Acemannan to help in their recovery from extreme exercise events. And then, of course, the final category are the people whose health has been compromised. And listen, these are the people that, again, will go to bed every night praying that God will bring them a better solution for quality of life impact for themselves or their children or people that they know. And this provides absolutely the most scientifically validated integrative health strategy that exists in the marketplace today. So this has been just a short overview of the type of product that we provide you. Hopefully I've given you a scientific basis for why this advancement in Acemannan technology surpasses anything that exists out there in the marketplace and will provide you with the absolute best opportunity to impact your quality of life. I look forward to talking to you again real soon. Have a great day.